Alan Holly, Hits 96.1.
If you ever want to get your confession in, text it to us. It'll be anonymous. Put the word hits with your confession and send it to the number 96893.
Here's the first Queen City confession. I've been dating this guy since Halloween, and honestly, it's been great. But I've been sitting on something that's been eating at me, and I feel kind of crazy for it. He's a teacher, one of the few guys at his school, so naturally, he's women. Well, Valentine's Day rolls around, and some of his coworker friends gave him little cards calling him their work husband. I know it's harmless. I know there's nothing going on, but I can't help but feel some type of way about it. I've been holding it in because I don't want to look like the insecure girlfriend, but seriously, work husband? It's just been stuck in my head ever since.
Yeah. It is a little, obviously those things happen in a lot of different workplaces.
Right.
But it depends on your relationship. Like, if that's not cool with you, then that shouldn't be cool with him either. And he can put a boundary up to be like, okay, guys, like, not really, my girlfriend is not on board with it or whatever. There has to be some trust in the relationship. Not to mention teachers, like, sometimes they make it to the top of these lists where it's like a lot of infidelity happens.
Oh, Holly, why'd you put that in her head? Oh, no.
I was going to say, I got to bring it up. Just bring it up.
Okay. Have you been in a situation where your spouse has a work wife or work husband? Was it purely platonic, or did it turn into something else? So let's sort of get some case studies from some actually people that have gone through it to see, is it purely innocent if you have a work wife or a work husband, or does it turn into something more?
Right.
1-844-HITS-961.
1-844-448-7961 or text hits in your message to 96893.
Here's another Queen City confession. I am that friend, the one who's always late. And honestly, I hate it. Every time there's a dinner, a party, a meeting, I'm the one everyone's waiting on. People joke about it all the time. Of course you're late. Or we told you 6, but we knew you'd show up at 6:45. And it actually bothers me because I really do try. I'll plan ahead, set alarms, tell myself I'll leave 20 minutes early, and somehow I'm still 15 minutes late. I don't want to be the late friend anymore. I just don't know how to break the cycle. And yes, I know people think I don't care, but I do. I'm just terrible at this. I think I looked up a few years ago. There is a condition where people's sense of times are different.
Is off.
Yes.
Like, you misunderstand how much time it might take to get somewhere.
Yes.
My dad was notorious for that, by the way. We would actually, for like holidays, start inviting him. Long story, but he and my parents were separated. But like, so we would tell him that the time was actually like a different time than it was, because he could not wrap his head around how much time it took to leave his house and get to our house.
It's true. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, that's why I feel for this person, because I constantly have to put safeguards in place to make sure I'm not late. The only place I'm not late is to the show.
Correct.
That's
Miguel
it.
will be late to everything else.
Yes. So I get it, because and my husband sees it too. And he'll be like, hey, we're leaving in 15 minutes. But for some reason, to me, 15 minutes in my head feels like 45 minutes. And so I'm like, oh, I've got time to like shower and do all this stuff. And he's like, no.
Like, but why can't you grasp that? So we just said no, but you're going to go back to thinking that 15 minutes is 45 minutes?
But it's like, how do you change how your brain works? Like, I know it, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can fit all this in and do it real quickly.
But you can't.
I know. I tell my brain that, and I tell myself that, and I set alarms for it, but it still happens.
It's difficult because the people like me who are not late people can't quite wrap their head around the fact that, like, I just told you, you don't have time for that in 15 minutes.
I'm curious, if you are late all the time, why? What always causes you to be late? Call us up, 1-844-HITS-961.
1-844-448-7961 or text hits with your message and send it to 96893.
Right now, it's Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars.